Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Well, good morning. It's Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Did you vote yesterday? I certainly hope so, because it is so important and just a real cornerstone of our democracy. We have a bunch of news, and much of it is election-focused to get to, so shall we? Finally, some good news for students. With the last two graduating classes getting totally screwed out of graduation and proms and all of that, this year things will be back to normal. Well, the normal that actually never happened 2 years ago. It'll be the first year when all graduations will be held in person at Live Event Center at the Maryland Live Casino. The ceremonies are scheduled for June 6th through June 10th, and Old Mill gets the honors of being the first to christen the new place and the new stage. The event center was built with the help of a tax break under former county executive Steve Shue, where the casino got the break, but the schools get to use it for their graduation. We have dates for each of the schools on eyeonannapolis.net, so you do want to check them out. And I just noticed, and this really kind of sucks, those students who opted for virtual education this year due to COVID won't be participating in any of the live ceremonies. It is virtual. Doesn't seem too fair to me when the decision to go virtual was made when the threat of COVID was vastly different than it is today, or vastly different than what it will be come June. Hopefully, the schools may reconsider that. Okay, elections in Annapolis. We will not have any final tallies until November 9th. We do know the results of in-person voting. Those will be up in a second. Today, they will tally any mailed-in ballots and those put in drop boxes through the random date of October 28th. And then on the 9th, they will tally the remaining drop box ballots and any that were received by mail. I do think that after the canvass today, many races will be obvious as to who the winner may be. In fact, we hear Mayor Buckley is planning a victory celebration tonight. Did you get your invite? Before we get into yesterday's results, we always put out predictions, not endorsements. And as we see it, Ellie Tierney will win in Ward 1, Karma O'Neill in Ward 2, Rhonda Pindell Charles in 3, Tony Strong Pratt in a write-in in Ward 4, Brooke Schandelmeyer in 5, DeJuan Gay in 6, and that might be an historic win, Rob Savage in 7, and Rock Taze in 8. As for the mayor, we feel that Gavin Buckley will easily get another 4 years. You can see all of my reasoning for those predictions at eyeonannapolis.net, so you do want to check them out. Now for those in-person voting results. In Ward 1, Ellie Tierney with 165 votes, with 39 write-ins opposing her. Ward 2, Scott Gibson leads with 234 votes to Karma O'Neill's 148 votes. Ward 3, Rhonda Pindell Charles with 115 votes to 10 write-ins. Ward 4, Sheila Finlayson with 79 votes, with 76 votes opposing her as a write-in. Ward 5, Brooke Schandelmeyer, 141 votes. Monica Manthe, 135 votes. Ward 6, DeJuan Gay with 66 votes, and George Gallagher with 44 votes. Ward 7, Rob Savage with 106 votes, and 21 write-in votes will be opposing Rob. Ward 8, Ross Arnett, 140 votes, Rock Taze, 245 votes. Over onto the mayor's race, Gavin Buckley with 1,034 votes versus Stephen Strawn's 859. I do believe that the lack of candidates in Wards 1, 3, and 7 are having an impact on overall turnout. But remember, we have 2 more canvasses, or counts, to go today and again on November 9th. The Baltimore Business Journal published info on a Baltimore event that looks very cool. An authentic German holiday market, complete with brats, mulled wine, holiday shopping, and, of course, beer. And that would be B-I-E-R. It gets underway on November 20th and 21st for a preview weekend, and then it will be daily from Thanksgiving through Christmas Eve. It's set up in the West Shore Park near the Maryland Science Center. Really cool. I'm going to have to get up to Baltimore to check that one out. And speaking of holiday things, put this date on your calendar. November 20th, that's when Homestead Gardens will be having their Grand Illumination. And if you have never seen that, you do have to get up to their Davidsonville property and check it out. They go all out with, I can't remember how many they told me, but it was close to 1 million LED lights, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And as we begin to wrap, remember that Lifeline 100 bike ride we told you about? It happened back in the beginning of October, and they tallied up the money, and the 1,000 plus riders ended up bringing in a whopping $37,000 to benefit our community. $12,500 went to the Anne Arundel Crisis Response System, $5,500 to the Friends of Anne Arundel County Trails, $5,500 to Friends of Kinder Farm Park, and $11,000 to Bicycle Advocates for Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. Well done, my fellow bike riders. Well done indeed. And hey, if you weren't aware, each of the county's main parks has a separate nonprofit associated with them that really adds to the programming and the events that go on at those parks. If you're interested, you want to check them out, go to aacounty.org and surf on over to Recreation and Parks. And finally, up this weekend on the Local Business Spotlight will be Monica Alvarado from Bread and Butter Kitchen. And as a heads up, I was trying to count the number of F-bombs in that one, but lost track. So be warned, it's going to have an advisory on it. The following weekend will be Tim Coe, who opened up a brand new insurance agency in town, Goosehead Insurance. And depending on how swamped I am today and tomorrow, I should drop one with Dr. Friedman from Evolve Medical Clinics as we chatted about COVID, the flu, and what he thinks may be coming down the line. One you definitely want to make sure you listen to. And send me some suggestions of businesses that you'd like to see featured. Okay, that is it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our 4 sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, Rehab to Perform, and brand new, Hospice of the Chesapeake. So now hang tight. We have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather. All that in just a few seconds.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, November 3rd. Frost advisory in effect for Anne Arundel County this morning, with most locations in the 30s, though some near the water could still be in the 40s. And the rest of the week and the weekend will be mostly sunny, with PM highs in the 50s and AM lows again in the 30s and low 40s. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download our app from the Apple or Google App Stores by searching DCMDVA Weather, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company.
One of the most common questions we get: how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today at 410-599-1370 so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. With all the talk of energy resilience in the news recently, I'm surprised there's not more talk about solar plus batteries, especially since 1/3 of all of our new residential solar projects include a battery backup system that provides instant energy security and peace of mind. And with incentives in place for battery backup, this investment is now more affordable than ever. With financing rates as low as 0.99% and plans offering 18 months same as cash, it's now easier than ever to go solar with no money down. Financing creates an easy bill swap scenario where you replace your electric bill with a loan payment, allowing you to build equity in your own personal energy supply. Don't wait for your next power outage to act. Contact us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net to learn more about solar with battery backup. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's are wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.